No, I didn't see you there, bitch. You invited.
You had to press the record button. How did you not see me?
Must have leisurely pushed it. But good to have you here.
Have your
guess.
open ass at the camera and be like, "Oh, I didn't see you there. You
Whoa,
put the camera there."
Now, I just like Mr. Rod. Mr. Rod, you have a whole song of welcoming me. But when I get to your house, oh, didn't see you there. You saved.
You just said it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. What are you talking about? We rode the train here.
Like, come on now.
Bear in the Big Blue House was the worst about that shit because the house would fucking like form itself. They'd do an entire song and dance. Then he'd close the door and then open
welcome you in.
Hey,
but I've never felt so loved and welcomed in my life.
Hey, yo, that fucking bear loved.
That bear.
Yeah, that bear. He seemed like he gave the best hugs.
He probably do. I've always wanted to hug Bear from Bear in the Big Blue House.
Like every time they went on tour.
Like I wanted to hug Bear, and I wanted to have Cheddar as like just a homie. We'd eat cheese.
Cheddar was a homie.
Cheddar was. But anyway, we're here with Gatcha Gang Podcast, episode 1. We're just hanging out, chilling, having a good time.
What up?
It's me, Scorpion Kid 1, aka Edison. We got Derek over there, the comic stack, and we got Quincy, F1 Wolf.
I do things.
I need you to like bring back your energy because you were energetic and then all of a sudden you started to introduce us and you're like,
gotta bring it down, man. Gotta relax.
Yeah, you gotta build up. Can't be high.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh.
Sure you can.
It's a
what
story.
a bitch.
I remember stoners in high school. They can be high all the time.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. So.
What? You didn't go to high school?
I
No,
was
he dropped
homeschooled.
out.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up painful childhood memories.
Yeah. After they kept making fun of me for all my disabilities, my parents were like, "No, we just got to keep you home."
You literally let us do that, though.
I want you to know, being a bitch ain't a disability.
No, nobody's in the Air Force. Oh man. No, I went to high school. I went to a charter school.
Yeah, I went to the same school he did, but I didn't like it. I bounced out after one quarter.
Yeah, I was there since middle school, so.
Yeah, ironically, isn't Quincy the one that was homeschooled of the three of us?
That's crazy.
Yeah. What's the options?
How you have school at home?
Simple.
So was your homework just work?
Just packets.
Just no. I mean, like, you know how it's homework because you got to take the work home. Is it just work? Yeah, is it just work?
It was way easier.
I bet you're just at home. Like, anything. The difficulties of school come from the school itself. So if you're at home, I feel like everything's Gucci. You know?
I think the part that fucked me up is that they're like, "Oh, prom." I was like, I never met these bitches. I don't care about prom.
I'm not going.
Like, you don't want to go to prom, and it was a dope prom too. It's a boat that had like 3 different floors. Now, why are you give? We don't know each other. We've never met.
Why am
my
I here?
graduation was ridiculous. It was like I had to make friends my graduation day. All the pictures of my graduation with random people, I met every single one of them that day.
Hey, sometimes all it takes is a day just to make that one ride or die homie.
Like Melissa, the one that came over here with that one time I told you. Like, yeah, I met her that graduation day, and we just happened to be cool.
Damn. Random bitch. See, everybody listening, I just want you to know, Quincy got hoes.
Quincy does have hoes.
He built different around here. In these
I ain't got hoes. Damn, good thing my shit's on vibrate. Like,
yeah,
I ain't got hoes. I do not have hoes now.
He has hoes.
It was the Philip DeFranco text saying that his video's up. That's all.
Oh, so you're gonna get seduced by Daddy DeFranco?
Not Daddy DeFranco.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, for some reason when he does like his ad plugs, he has like a sleeveless white beater shirt and a chain on for no applicable explained reason.
Hey, Quincy's just like, is it getting on here?
Damn, Daddy DeFranco.
He's like, can we just relax a little bit?
Let's get to know each
Pride
other.
Month. You better stop playing.
Right. I'll do some things. Yeah, it's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everybody. It's Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
Anybody doing anything special for Pride Month? No celebrations?
I'm
nothing?
thinking about playing the Joe Biden dating sim on Steam.
What?
Does that count?
Wow. Wow.
What?
What's pride about that though? That's what I need to know first.
Right.
I'm a dude trying to seduce Joe Biden.
How about you?
I thought you played as Joe Biden trying to seduce
You
people.
know, that was my
No.
thought too. I thought that he played as Joe Biden. I mean, Derek, why don't you just play Dream Daddy? I mean, come on now.
I could play Dream Daddy. I don't know. I think the big problem with like Dream Daddy is I'm not as big of a Game Grumps fan as I used to be, so I don't really.
What that got to do with being a Dream Daddy?
I know. Anyway,
this man just doesn't want to have a Dream Daddy. That's all I'm.
how
hearing.
much is Dream Daddy? Looks like $15.
Isn't Dream Daddy on was Dream Daddy on PlayStation? Let's see.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's on
Yeah,
sale,
yeah,
too.
that was part
I
of the
think
list.
It's part of the list of the pride shit.
Yeah. Just going to the list. It's like, is this? We got to Steven Universe, and he was like, "How is Steven Universe like Pride celebration?" I was like, "It's nothing but gay gems. The most heterosexual relationship is between Steven and his girlfriend, and that's not established until the sequel series. And even then, they fuse and become a they them. So,
I mean, fusion. Fusion's kind of hot.
fusion hot, yeah, Derek. It's got to have that Dragon Ball Z reference in there, huh?
Gotta have that Dragon Ball. Well, I mean,
What a
fusion.
nerd! What a nerd!
I am a nerd.
God, who likes Dragon Ball Z?
You know who likes Dragon Ball Z and nerdy shit?
Is it all the people
nerds.
that I was about to say all the nerds and the people that went to Akon?
That was the perfect
Yes.
plug. Why did you not use the
Yeah, I
segment?
did. You
I
dropped the
was-
ball.
I was-
You dropped the
actually-
ball.
I was trying to, and then Ed was trying to say shit, and I was just like, I'm just gonna let Ed talk, and then eventually I'll find a way to work this in, and I got fucked. But no, yeah. All the nerds at Akon. All the nerds at Akon. I would argue that there weren't as many like Dragon Ball fans at Akon. as
Blasphemy.
There were. I mean, I think Demon Slayer is probably the most popular anime at Akon across 3 days.
Cue the Demon Slayer music. Okay, don't
Which
do that.
one?
We'll get
Which-
the first one because that's the best.
No.
one.
Fuck up. No. Whoever's editing this, fuck up and put the Attack on Titan music instead. Fuck up, put the Attack on Titan music.
Yeah, God.
I will say, Attack on Titan, not a lot of representation, but if one person would do the salute, everyone around them would do the salute. Like you were
Okay.
finding like a cult, basically.
Okay, I gotta ask this. Jaegerist, Derek, yes or no?
Jaegerist?
Yeah, are
What?
you a Jaegerist? Are you a Jaegerist?
What is that-
Do you
what does that
support
mean?
Aaron Yeager in all his endeavors?
I've only seen season 1.
Oh yeah, you're a
so-
bitch. I forgot.
Yeah, I've only seen season 1 and read into a little bit of what is season 2.
Well, call me a bitch too, because I haven't seen it either. All I've seen is season 1.
God.
Oh, okay.
I'm surrounded by plebeians.
I do know that for the anime awards for 2021, he was nominated for best hero and best villain. So
Yeah.
I know that much. That there are people who absolutely
do you guys want to know? Do you guys plan on watching it?
No.
I
want
will
to hit.
eventually.
You
I
wanted
will
to
eventually
hit?
watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to hit me like everyone else.
All right. So anyway, continue, Derek, about your Akon adventures.
So
And every time you say Akon, I think of isn't it like
Music.
the music guy?
yeah,
Akon.
Locked up, they
Yeah.
won't let me out.
Yeah.
to that end, it was kind of hard to search up things about the event for that reason. Google was like, clearly you're talking about the rapper, and I'm like, clearly I'm not. like,
But
I-
sure,
I-
Google, you know what's best.
Go off,
Like-
sis.
they even had a subtitle called Anime Unleashed, and if you type in Akon Anime Unleashed, it would still bring up the rapper, and I'm like, I do not care.
I
do
want
not
that.
give a shit.
I want you to Google that. My hope and dream is that if you Google that, and it's just Akon, and it's just a bunch of PNG file, like stock images of a bunch of different anime characters just around him, and it's just underneath it just says Anime Unleashed.
That'd be fucking great.
Someone edit that in, please.
So I guess I'll go day by day, and you guys will ask me questions and whatnot. Day one, I walked up. I was about half an hour early, and They did not have a system as far as trying to get in that front door. There was supposed to be a line for people with bags and people without bags. And almost everybody had bags, and almost nobody didn't have bags.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one big crowd. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to what looks like the end of the line. It's whatever. Well, I benefited from this, but I'm still going to call this guy a douchebag. Wow. This one guy who worked at the event, and I saw him all 3 fucking days, and I rolled my eyes at him all fucking 3 days.
You're a horrible person.
He started shouting at people towards the front of the line, and he's like, "All right, everybody, get back, get back!" And he just starts like taking everybody and making them like snake around, like turn it from one big giant mess to, you know, a zigzag basically. And yes, it was a little more organized, but this man did not give a fuck. He was not paying attention. He was literally just taking people and go, "You get right there. You go over there. You go over there. You go over," blah, 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 until it went from one big blob of people to one like zigzagging, snaking line. And there were tons of people who should have been at the front of the line who are now at the back of the line. And people like me who should have been in the back are now in the front. Because this guy was not paying attention.
And this is a guy that like worked there?
He did. He absolutely worked there.
I thought it was just a random dude.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what did this guy?
And there was a woman who was also working there who was towards the front of the group. And she was talking to some of the people in just this blob of people. And she should have known that he was putting people in the front, in the back. But she didn't speak up, like, because nerds are awkward, so they were timid. And she just let him do what I don't think he was in charge at all. At any point do I ever believe that this man was in any kind of power position. In his daily life, he probably is low on the totem pole, and this was his chance to get it out.
He said, "It's my time to shine."
Exactly. He was like, I'm the hero now. I get to be the hero. And so he just kind of put people wherever, and like groups got disrupted. Like, because there was a couple people ahead of me, and they had to get out of their place in line to go find their friends that they had lost because this idiot just kind of shuffled everybody around and did not care. He did not give a shit. He was just like, "You get over there, and you get over there, and you go over there, you blah, 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 blah." It's like, okay.
I can imagine he sounded exactly like that.
And it actually took a minute for everybody to get inside. It took us about, like, because I got there half an hour early, and it took us another half an hour to get into or for me to get into the convention, and I wasn't that far from the door, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. So it took a minute. I was out there about an hour, and there's this stereotype that nerds at a convention are the smelliest people. Well, when you're in the Texas fucking heat for an hour, and I wasn't the only one that was out there for an hour.
Derek, were you out there stinking?
We were all stanking. Like, I could smell us before we got in the door.
So you was out there stanking.
Excuses.
And like, I took a shower. I was wearing deodorant. When I got there, I could smell somebody's, like, shower gel. Like, they were clearly fresh out the shower before they got in there. And I don't know where that person went, but I guarantee you they didn't smell like that by the time they got inside, because we were out in the Texas fucking heat.
I can tell you how I can smell better. And that's why this video is sponsored by Dr. Squatch.
It's not. Hey, but Dr. Squatch, if you listen, we don't mind sponsorship.
But yeah, it's like, your pits may stink, but at least your balls don't stink. This is
brought to you by Manscaped. Redefine the gentleman. Nah, their pits may be smelly, just like one of the factions in Raid Shadow Legends. Oh man, no, we are not sponsored by any of these people. Although, if you're out there listening, Hit us
We
up.
won't say no to a paycheck.
Yeah, hit us up. Hit us up. Derek might say no to a paycheck because you know he has a nice stable job and got a promotion, so you know.
All right.
He's doing fine.
All right.
He doesn't need any of this.
We do.
We're not saying we're desperate, but we're desperate. So once you got inside, by the way, the line cleared up within an hour. Like day one, there was no real like messy line. Because I remember going out to the balcony at like 11:30 and looking down, and the lines were gone. There was no lines. There was no waiting to get in. And the only reason I had to wait in this big fucking line was because I brought a Jujutsu Kaisen lounge fly bag. I don't know if you guys know what lounge fly bags are. But
you said random words in a particular order, so
so Steph calls it a purse. A lot of girls get lounge fly bags because they're little mini backpacks.
Could you
that are
define
like
it as a satchel?
No, it's a mini backpack, and they're always pop culture themed.
Oh, is it those like super tiny ones that like basically can fit in the middle of your back if you're wearing it?
Yeah, for the most part. I wouldn't say super tiny, but yeah, they're smaller. Yeah,
they're like kind of like the same size as a drawstring bag, but like backpack shaped.
Yes, that's
Okay,
probably the best way.
I know those. Yeah,
and they're always pop culture themed.
Yeah,
some depends on what it is, but it's always pop culture themed. And in my case, mine's Jujutsu Kaisen themed, and I've got a bunch of Spy Family pins and Jujutsu Kaisen pins and some Fate keychains on it. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be the perfect kind of thing to bring. By the time I got inside, I was looking at all my pins, and I realized that my Sailor Venus pin had already been nicked. So that was fun. I don't know where I lost it.
Dang.
If some nerd klepto fucking stole it from me, but I shouldn't have brought something that tiny, and it's not that small. But when you go to this convention, you realize just how tiny it is, because I could have fit maybe a figure and a plushie in it, and I was trying to buy art on day one, and most of the prints that I was trying to buy were too big for this tiny bag, and I was immediately like, I fucked up. This isn't working. I was only there on day one for I think 4 or 5 hours, because I immediately bought this big print on day one, and I instantly regretted it. Regretted it.
How big was it?
It was poster size, probably about poster size.
And you
smaller than poster bag. No, I couldn't. I even tried like gently rolling it up and doing it that way, but even then it was still too tall. So I was like, fuck.
Dang.
Did you have to buy another bag there?
No, because, okay, so I knew I had the 3-day pass. So I was like, you know what? I didn't get much sleep the night before. Unfortunately, there's a rule called the 6-2-1 rule. They recommend that you have 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower every day if you go into a convention. And the night before, I only got 4.5 hours.
I'm glad you specified for every day of the convention, because I was going to be very concerned if they were like, 1 shower before you even go to the convention at all.
No.
That would have been like, God, no wonder they was stinking out there in that Texas heat.
And so because I was a little tired, and I knew I was now underprepared, but I had a good idea of like what was at the convention. I'm like, okay, I need to stop. I need to regroup. I need to go home. I'm gonna go home early on day one. Mm-hmm. There were a couple of things that were gonna be happening, and I didn't know that at the time. But so I just stopped and left. I later found out. Well, so I knew at the time the Wi-Fi was terrible. It was something I knew ahead of time, even because people were saying, they're like, hey, you've been recommending everybody use this app to like find out, the schedule and whatnot, but the convention center sucks and it's got a Faraday cage over it. So we can't realistically get a hold of any of this information anyway. And so I kept that in my mind, and I'm like, all right. And on day one, plenty of people were doing like surprise meetups, like surprise meet and greets here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was missing out. I was missing out on shit. Like on the train ride home, I was looking at my phone and I'm going, all right, I missed out on this meetup. I missed out on that meetup. I missed out on this. And I wouldn't have had any idea if I was in the convention center anyway, because there was no way of getting any reception. Mm-hmm. So day 2, which was Saturday, I came back. There was a concert at the end of the night. So I intentionally did not bring a bag, because I'm like, I'm not going to try and lug a bag into a concert.
Like a fool.
That would have been stupid. And that was pretty much the only reason I didn't bring a bag. But it was really smart of me, because the line on day 2 basically never fucking ended. And I'm complaining about a line from this weekend, and I know that there was another convention that happened in the Philippines this weekend called Conquest, and people were in line there for like 8 or 9 hours. So I get that there was another convention where it was worse, but I was not going to fuck with that. I still didn't like the line this year.
Conquest is a very bold choice of words for the Philippines.
What does that mean?
None.
What? Right? What are you implying, sir?
Are you making historical implications, sir?
Yes. Yes.
So I didn't bring a bag, and again, the line for people without a bags was basically just walk in the front door. Like, there was no waiting, there was no fucking around. It was very simple. Alright, I'm just gonna come on in, no big deal. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit there, because I did not need to worry about it right away, because at 10 o'clock when the convention opened, I was actually heading to the hotel right next door, because they were holding the Vichibon panel. And Vichibon is a VTuber group that I follow and I am a fan of. And so I went to their VTubers. I love my VTubers. I'm especially a fan of these four, especially after this weekend. But I really like Shia Bun, and I really like Buff Pup.
What?
Buff Pup.
All right.
UFFP.
Okay. All right. It just sounds like sure.
What did you think I said?
I don't know, man. I just didn't think that you said actual words.
Oh.
Wow. You said words.
I said words.
All right.
I speak English.
Sure. You fooled me.
They put on a very, very funny panel, and I was very happy. I will say that I very quickly remembered something that I kind of hate about panels in general, is a lot of people try to make the panels about themselves. Like, when they go up to ask a question, it's suddenly about them. It's not about the people on the stage or on the screen or whatever. It's all about, like, oh, I'm going to do something funny. I'm going to try and pop the crowd. And, oh, aren't I such a ham? And I'm not necessarily, like, shitting on Vichibon fans, because every panel is like that. It's just... it's something that I really don't like about panels. It was something that I had to, like, stomach through a little bit for this, because I really like them, and they handled it really well, and they could bounce jokes off of these people making it about them, and, you know, bringing it back to themselves. It was so it worked, but generally, I have a hard time sometimes. Like, even, like, big movie Q&As. when sometimes they'll be asked a question. If you're not like a professional like person in the press, sometimes you ask I'm not even going to say stupid question, but you can say a good question but make it about yourself, and that's just it's kind of cringy, and I don't really gel well with it. So after that panel, I went back in, realized that one of the panels that I wanted to go to was now at a different time, because they completely went waka 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 on everybody's fucking panel times on day 2. I thought I just remembered everything wrong, but I heard somebody explaining during the concert. They're like, I don't know why they fucked with the schedule today. I was like, okay, so I wasn't the only one. And so I killed some time by walking around a little bit. Then I went... while I was walking around, I found the maids for the Maid Cafe giving out tickets. They were giving people tickets. And I was like, I got nothing going on today. Today is basically... The concert is like the only thing I've got planned. So let me go find out about the Maid Cafe. And they were trying to avoid eye contact with me. They did not want...
Why are you scaring people?
I don't know.
Why?
Maybe I'm socially awkward. Like, maybe I come off as weird or creepy. I apologize. I did not make friends this weekend, so if you told me that I was weird and creepy, I would believe you, because nobody really wanted to talk to me this weekend. It was actually kind of depressing.
What did you do? What did you do?
Was you stinking that bad?
Yeah, was the quote unquote Texas heat messing you up?
There were so many people that like, I'd be waiting in line for something, and I would try and talk to them, and some of them would try, or most of them just kind of wouldn't.
What were you wearing?
Well, on day 1, I was wearing my Anya hat and my Anya shirt from Spy Family. And I tried to talk to the people in front of me on day 1, and because they were talking about Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Fate Grand Order. They were literally
how did you not make friends?
Yeah, there's 3 favorite things.
And they would be talking, and they're like, yeah, one of them would be like, I guess we're not going to see a lot of Star Rail cosplay. And I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe next year we'll see more Star Rail cosplay. And then he'd be like, yeah, maybe. And then that was kind of...
What do you do?
They'd go back to talking to each other, and I'm just like, I'm kind of listening because I'm waiting in line. And then like they would start talking about Fate Grand Order, and one of them would be like, is Carmella a good character? And I'm like, well, is it the assassin or is it the rider? Because I use the rider all the time. And he's like, the guy was like, assassin. I'm like, oh, the assassin's good. She's single target, And he's like, okay, thanks. And then he turns back to his friend, and his friend goes, well, the rider's not good either. Don't even listen to that guy. And I'm just like, all right. And then they were talking about like rolling on Genshin, and they were talking about Zhao, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna bring up Zhao. I'm not even gonna talk about
what if that was your in, man? What if that was your in? That was your in. You gotta talk to him about your Zhao experience.
And there was a guy in front of those two that was like he was talking to them, but like not listening to them. He would just talk about whatever he wanted. Like, you know how in things like The Big Bang Theory, there's like these nerdy guys in their suspenders and glasses, and oh my god, this is just like that one scene in the Star Wars movies, blah blah blah. This guy was that. He was like, oh my god, doesn't this remind everybody of that scene from Lucky Star? And I'm like,
dang,
Lucky Star. Jesus Christ, that is the most, like, I don't know if anybody remembers that fucking anime, but thank you for playing. Jesus.
I remember
Um,
that anime.
I
You
don't
shouldn't.
remember.
Lucky Star's terrible.
What? I
Um,
enjoyed Lucky Star.
Did
What's
you
it about?
really?
I did. I had fun with it. I mean, I watched it back when I was like, oh, I don't know, however old, but I thought it was fun. It was just nice
Lu-
What is it
Lucky,
about?
Lucky
It's
Star is about these
just
four
about
girls.
yeah, just four. What are they? Middle schoolers, high schoolers?
Yeah, middle schoolers or high schoolers. They look like elementary school students,
Yeah, but they're just like doing random shit. It's just a little slice of life thing. You know, they make
it's-
references to other things.
yeah, it's like every episode is like 2 episodes in one, and just it's basically skits, but it's with these
Yeah.
4 girls.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And I can say this having watched it in the last year, it doesn't hold up. A lot of the references are dated as hell, and some of the references are super Japanese that even if you get it, you're like, damn, that's a little too specific.
It's giving the girls who get it, and the girls who don't.
If you say so. I actually know that is probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, those guys didn't want to fucking talk to me. There was a couple at the end of day 2 that I tried to talk to. They were a little more into having a conversation with me, but
Good
I think
question.
that they were just tired.
How much taller than these people were you?
Not significantly, but definitely I was taller than almost all of these people that I'm mentioning.
Maybe your height is the problem, Derek.
Maybe. You talk to me though.
Wow, just gonna come
He's
from
never
my
met
height
you in
like that.
person.
Yeah, what if I walk up to you and I'm just thoroughly intimidated? You ever thought about that?
Well, I think I might cry.
Anyway, this couple.
I
couple.
can only be friends with Quincy because Quincy's the only person taller than me.
Yeah, man. Isn't that the rule? I
That's
thought that was the rule.
No, it's not the rule.
Oh, I thought it was the rule that you could only be friends with people taller than you.
No, Derek can, like, he can talk to people. Those people were just there. You know what? People act different when it's hot.
True.
That's true. That's true.
It was hot, and then like you don't really want
Makes
other people talking to you.
irritable.
Yeah. Or maybe they just got rejected by the one they love, so like I just want to go home. And you reminded them of the one they love.
You remind me of a girl that I once knew. Derek's tall ass. You remind me of a girl that I once knew. Yeah. Jesus. Who the fuck were you dating?
It's like you look just like her. What?
I don't know if you're calling me sexy or you're calling her man, but either way, so I'm gonna need you to cease and desist.
Oh man! And then you try talking to a couple, Derek. So you're trying to make swingers? Like, what's wrong with you?
No. Couples are usually way more receptive.
Well, yeah, because they already have their like person.
Yeah, they always have their person.
Especially instead of trying to like talk to like. Sometimes a girl is a great friend to have, but as a dude, you can be intimidating.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily want to talk to you. But when they're in a couple, that girl can be a lot more receptive to having a conversation with you. But I genuinely think that the part of the reason that they weren't as receptive was only because it was the end of day 2, and day 2 was really long, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. So I get why they weren't as talkative. But they did definitely talk to me more than the first guy.
Yeah.
But so going back to the maid thing, trying to get the maid's attention, I had to literally walk up and I'd be like, "Hey, what are you giving out?" They're like, "Oh, we're giving out $5 off coupons to the maid cafe," and I go, "Cool."
Okay, she's just bad at her job. Let me just say that right there. She's bad at her job because, like, it's your job to be like, it's nerdy stuff and stuff like that, and most times nerdy people are like socially awkward, and like you gotta talk, speak up, like you're supposed to be passing this shit out. And she's making you feel like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this. Like, nah, Stacy, get your shit together. Smile, say hi.
Smile.
So I had to
smile and wave, boy. Smile and
wave. And so I had to walk up to her and basically ask her for the $5 off coupon. And I even knew where to sign up for this. And so I even asked, I'm like, where do I go? Because she's giving me nothing. She's not even telling me where to go for the cafe. She's literally giving me nothing. But she was going up to couples, or couples or groups, but she would not go up to me, which is part of the reason when you're like, oh, were you stinky? I mean, it could be. It could very well be that I was stinky.
It could be.
Yeah,
we told you about being a
Nah,
stinky
you
boy,
may have
Derek.
stunk, Derek, but their personality stunk much more wretched.
Yeah, and you know what? That's another thing, is I knew that, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, Quincy could get engaged with these people better than I could. Quincy is great at just talking to strangers.
Strangers talk to me. That's different.
What are you talking about? You talk to strangers.
It's because, listen,
Strangers
Derek,
talk to me. That's different.
Quincy reminds them of girls that they once knew, so they have a way easier time talking to him.
I remind them of a girl they once knew.
Yeah, it's just what happens.
So, I go and sign up for this thing, and I decide they gave me a wait time. They're like, here, can you come back at this time? I'm like, sure. And in the meantime, I've downloaded the app so that I can read it, even though it's not fucking working off Wi-Fi. Yeah. And I see that there's a speed run at, I think it was 12 o'clock. And I'm like, fine, it's 11:45.
Speed run.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I'm like, go ahead.
It was more so just baseless commentary versus an actual thing.
Nah, let him cook. What's up, man?
Why noon?
Cut to commercial break.
This commercial break is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh no.
So it's 11:45, and I go in there early, and they're practicing and whatnot, and they genuinely didn't seem very good when they were practicing, because I watched this guy die multiple times.
Ooh.
Someone's bad at speed running.
Maybe honestly it could be one of those things where it's I swear to God, guys, last night I was doing it so well. It's just when everyone's around you and stage fright and performance anxiety.
Yeah.
I do the same way.
Well, I eventually
performance issues happens in something out of 3 men, which is why we recommend Blue Chew.
And keeps, because your hair, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keeps, because your hair. They'll just take the hair off your balls and put it on your head.
Whoa!
Probably,
I don't know.
That is kind of what happens. They take hair from other parts of your body and use it to genetically create bullshit on top of your head.
I don't want no booty hair.
Hell no!
If that's all you got, that's all you got.
I don't want no pubic hair as hair.
They never
unless I'm shampooing them with the Manscaped.
No. You should have had Old Spice. That was perfect Old Spice. My Old Spice shampoo keeps my hair feeling fresh and
even though I have pubic hairs shoved in my scalp.
It's great for those sensitive areas.
So, the speedrunning eventually does start. And I'm thinking to myself, even as he's dying before the show, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a little bit. This is just to kill some time. I was so fucking invested in it the entire time. The guys were actually really funny and they were entertaining. And I eventually learned that the reason he was dying was because that they were playing it on the Switch, and he was trying to correct for input lag on the Switch version of the controller, and so he was just testing out button combinations and whatnot. He even completely reset everything from the default to a completely different set of buttons, and so that's probably why he was dying, was he was just testing out button combinations.
Really? Lag? He said lag?
Yeah, man. Lag.
It's every gamer's excuse.
They weren't plugged in. Their Wi-Fi was trash.
This is also true. And he beat it in 48 minutes. He beat Mega Man X in 48 minutes, and I think here I got it pulled up somewhere. I think it was like 48 minutes and 16 seconds or something.
Is that a world record?
No, the world record was like 39 minutes.
Wow.
Dang.
Why is he even on stage?
Right? Not even top 400. Like, come on, man.
Wasted my time.
Alright, you guys play Mega Man X. I want to see how well you
I'll
two
do it.
First of all, no, I'm not a professional. He claims to be. He should do
What?
better.
Oh, yeah, him. Yeah, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, I never claimed to be a professional.
He's not calling out. Yeah, he's a professional. What?
Me? Who? Where?
So, but I genuinely had fun watching that, and by this point, it was almost 1, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get to my maid cafe appointment, and I knew where there was a restroom, so I was kind of rushing to a restroom, and then I'm like, I gotta go to the spot, and I pass the cosplayer who's cosplaying as Nino Kosaka from Niji Sanji, which is my favorite VTuber of all time, is Nino Kosaka. And so I have to be like, oh my god, I love your cosplay! But then I had to like run past this girl, and it was like, I would have loved to take pictures with her and talk to her, but I was in the, I had an appointment, so I had to go. But, and then when I get there, I'm towards the back. I'm like I'm near the very, very back of the maid cafe line, and they start to send us in. Now, I want to preface this whole fucking experience by saying, they say don't base what you know, or base what's going to happen off what you see in cartoons or anime. But everything I knew about maid cafes, I knew from anime. Where, especially like school festival episodes.
Yeah.
Where, like, the guy sits at the desk, and a maid comes over, and they make him tea, and they do the moe moe kyun on the fucking tea, and now it tastes great and whatever.
I need you to never make that noise ever again.
I need it for context. Let him cook.
And, that's what it is. Well, in this case, I walked into a room where I think there was 7 or 8 tables set up. And there's a bunch of us. There might have been 100 of us. Maybe. Or so I guess there's probably like 8 of us, or 80 of us, because there was 10 chairs at every table. And I get shuffled over to a group, or to a table. There's a group of 5 friends, and then another group of 2, these 2 girls, and one of them is in a Kakaguri cosplay. I don't watch Kakaguri, so I don't know what the main girl's name is.
He's lying.
Whoever she is. And then another single dude, another single dude, another single dude in a cosplay, and myself. And
See a trend.
Yeah.
We all are at this table together, and immediately I'm like, oh shit, okay, so I thought that it would be me and one maid. I didn't realize we were all sharing a maid.
Dang.
I mean, it's a con, so I guess,
It sounds like they were short-staffed. All I'm saying is, if my people that worked for me...
Calm down.
Go ahead, Ed. Try and create a fucking maid cafe. I fucking dare you.
Watch me be the most successful maid cafe there was.
I mean, watch you. And so we're all sitting down, and everybody's trying to have a conversation with each other. And this dude, bigger than Quincy, this dude, in a cosplay, and people start to ask him. They're like, "Oh, that's a cool cosplay. What's it from?" And
None of your business.
This guy just like leans back on his chair, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you guys haven't seen this movie."
He's one of them.
Yes, he's one of them. And one of the guys who asks, or he's kind of like tries to play it off. He's like, no, I haven't seen the movie. But what is the movie? He's like, oh, if you watched the movie, you would know. And he's like, oh, okay. And he puts on the mask. And this whole cosplay was made by him, and it looks really fucking good, if I'm honest. Like, when this whole thing was over, as we're all leaving, people were asking to take pictures with him. Like, I saw this guy getting pictures taken with him all the time. But just because you're good at making cosplay does not make you great at social interactions.
So you're telling me that no one cared who he was until he put on the mask?
Yeah, I guess that's exactly what I'm telling you.
I love it here.
I hate it here. And when he would put on the mask, he would get into character. He would only interact as his character. So he did not speak, he suddenly didn't speak English. He only pantomimed while he was this character.
Who was this character?
I don't know. I know it was a Wendigo, but I don't know what it was from.
Not a Wendigo.
Sweats in Winchester.
I know it was from a movie, but I don't know what it was from.
Yeah, because he wouldn't say it. Like, well, why, bro? Why are you gatekeeping? Like, wait, hold on, what the fuck, bro?
Not the gatekeep. If you're gonna gatekeep, you might as well go boss while you're at it.
What the fuck? He's sitting here like, oh, yeah, that's one thing. It's like, oh man, I love this outfit. I want to know more about this. So tell me where it's from. So I could be a fan of it just like you. If you don't already know, you don't deserve to be a fan. Like, bitch, what?
He kind of spit though. I mean, come on now.
Eventually, he did tell us what it was, but it was like, by this point, I was too like awkward about him that I just wasn't paying attention. So eventually, the main maid comes out on stage, and she says, "Okay, they're gonna come around. Like your maids are gonna come around and take your orders, and we're gonna play some games, and we're gonna do some dances, and we're gonna do some songs, and all this stuff."
I like music.
And she says, "Here are the different foods that you can have. They were all different kinds of croissants."
Croissant.
Thank you. I was waiting for one of you to do it. Not both of you, but one of you.
You get what you get, you don't get upset.
And different kinds of teas. And each tea, if you want it, the only way you were allowed to order the tea was if you did the dance that went with the tea.
Oh god.
And so she showed us each dance. She showed us each dance twice so that we could do them.
So did you or did you not get jiggy with it?
So after she's done, she's like, "All right, and now your maids are coming around." And our maid walks up, and I turn around, and it's a dude in a fucking suit, and I'm like, "That's not a maid.
Shit.
That's not a maid.
That is a butler.
That's a butler."
Yeah, I'm like, I'm mildly disappointed. Like, even if it was a dude in a maid outfit, that would have been funny. Like, this is disappointing on all levels.
You gotta put your hands on your knees and pop it for a dude now.
She's on fire.
So he goes, like, he asks us what we want to drink or what we want to eat and drink, and I tell him that I want the chocolate croissant, and because I wanted the English breakfast, I had to do this, like, I had to basically put my arms at 90-degree angles and go, "I'll have the English breakfast, governor." And
Oh, fuck.
Whoa.
Oh, fuck.
I had to do that.
That's hot.
And then it gets to the next girl, the girl in the Kakaguri cosplay, and she goes, I'll have the regular croissant, the butter croissant, and the green matcha tea, and I'm not dancing.
She didn't dance, did she?
She didn't dance. And then no one proceeded to dance. I was the only fucking
Derek, no.
I felt it. I fucking felt it coming.
Derek, no. You can't. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
And I'm not dancing. What if he said, then you don't eat? Next.
And I looked around at the rest of the room, and nobody was dancing in the entire fucking room.
And you danced.
And I danced, and I'm like, oh,
No, you know what?
was...
No, fuck it, Derek. It's not embarrassing. It's a thing that they said there's something you had to do, and it's just fucking the experience. It would have been a way cooler story if everybody would have danced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a way cooler story.
I'm gonna be honest. The secondhand embarrassment that I got from the cosplayer next to me was way worse than the embarrassment from being the only one to dance. So.
Bro just danced by himself.
While this guy is taking everybody's orders, the dude in the cosplay puts his arm down on the table in front of me, and like he wants to arm wrestle the girl in the Kakaguri cosplay, and she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand, and he's pantomiming to her, and she doesn't understand, and it's getting more and more awkward because he's doing this thing where he's got his arm on the table to arm wrestle, and I haven't watched Kakaguri, but I'm pretty sure that the arm wrestling is in one of the first few episodes.
Damn.
So even I kind of knew where he was going with this, but she's like, I don't, and like she's starting to get frustrated, and he's pantomiming over and over for a solid, like, I'm not even kidding, this is going on for like a minute. Just over, he's pantomiming, she's getting a little frustrated, and I'm sitting between the two of them getting embarrassed. Like, I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm, like, looking down at my feet, and my arms are, like, pressed to my sides, and I'm just getting so uncomfortable. Like, just incredibly uncomfortable.
Bro said this ain't
Jesus Christ.
And
uncomfortable even.
Eventually, like, eventually her friend, like, whispers in her ear, and she's like, oh, so you want to arm wrestle? And she immediately puts her arm down, and they start to arm wrestle. And, like, as soon as that happens, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Because I'm like, okay, it's a bit, but at least this is, like, something to do with her show. That's fine. Yeah. And he immediately lets her win. And she kind of giggles, and she's like, thank you for letting me win. And
couldn't be me. I would have dropped that bitch.
I'd have snapped her wrist like a toothpick.
Just whole lot of fucking beat her arm down and then push her over and be like, I fucking beat you, bitch.
I would have did her like I mean, I know Ed'll get it. How Isaac broke that one chick's arm in arm wrestling.
Oh no! Shit. Oh no!
So, after it's over, he starts pantomiming again. After she's like, "Thank you for letting me win," he starts pantomiming. And I start to get uncomfortable immediately because, like, she's not getting it. I'm not even. I couldn't even help her if I wanted to. In this case,
I'm starting to think that you're just afraid of mimes, Derek.
maybe a little bit.
Mimes are a bit creepy.
And he's trying to like he's trying to explain something to her, and it's just not coming out. And she's getting a little frustrated, and she's getting a little uncomfortable, and I'm getting very uncomfortable because I'm sitting between this. And the guy across from me notices this, and so he starts, like, asking everybody about, like, you know, oh, you're wearing a Demon Slayer shirt. Oh, you know, is that your favorite anime? Ha ha ha. And then he sees my shirt, and I was wearing the Evangelion shirt on day 2, and he's like, oh, do you like Evangelion? And he starts to talk to me about Evangelion. Like, I'm actually having a conversation with a person, right?
Yeah.
the dude in the cosplay finally takes off his mask and, like, very loudly is like, you know, I let you win.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of stops.
What?
And he's like, he's looking at the Kakaguri cosplay girl, and she's like, I'm sorry? And she's like, I let you win. And we're like, yeah, she's like, yeah, I know, thank you for doing that. And he's like, no, I let you win because if I actually tried, I would have snapped your arm in half. I was being
That was
nasty.
extreme.
Yo, calm down there, sir.
He's like, my power level is like this because I like the last time I arm wrestled somebody, I actually like ripped a mother and a child in twain. And
Not in twain.
There was
What the
blood
fuck?
all over my body for 3 days.
What the fuck? He didn't even have a shower? What the fuck?
Sounds like a Stadion from fucking what you call it? From Final Fantasy, bro. You don't want to wash that dragon blood off your armor?
Yeah, my brother in Christ.
So I like clam up and I'm like, oh no. And like, she's like, haha, you know, I think I could beat you again if we had another one. And he puts his arm down and he goes, all right, then let's do this for real then.
Whoa! He's trying to catch a body.
Somebody's ego was
Somebody come
hurt.
get her.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
she goes, she's like, no thanks. I'm gonna. She's trying to play it off. She's like, I'm already on a winning streak. I'm not gonna risk losing that. And I'm like, okay, good answer, good.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Thank you for. And then he goes, "Are you single?" And she's like,
The emotional roller coaster that you are taking me through right now.
she's like,
No way.
oh, I'm in a relationship, haha, and like I can see it on her face. She's uncomfortable, and he's like,
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm very much so uncomfortable.
as soon as she says that, he leans back and he puts his mask back on so that he doesn't have to actually talk to anybody. At this point, the maids start a dance routine, which doesn't involve a whole lot of steps. Like, I have a feeling the three of us, who are all uncoordinated as fuck, could have done it.
First of all, sir,
with
speak for
just enough
yourself.
practice. Oh, are you a big dancer, Ed? I haven't
yes.
seen your TikTok recently.
Okay, first of all.
Yo, you do TikTok dances? That's crazy.
No,
I wanna see
why? Nah. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
this. But put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Put the TikTok in the comments, brother.
I don't do
Or in the
TikTok
description.
dances.
Or in the description. Put it in the description. It'll be fun.
No, I don't TikTok dance. I don't post on TikTok.
Come on. Dog, you not even a little bit? Why are you limiting yourself? I imagine greatness for all of us. Now get out there and dance some Savage by Megan Thee Stallion.
If Quincy can, you can too.
Oh my gosh.
So they do this dance, and then the bro starts to say something after the dance is over, and they, just as he starts to say something, the butler comes out, and he's got everybody's teas and croissants and everything, and he starts passing them out, and after he gives this guy his croissant and tea, the guy takes the mask off and acts like the mask is talking to him.
Oh Lord.
Oh no.
So
And
schizophrenia, that's hot.
And he goes, actually, my mask wants the blood of my enemies. I'll have, or not the mask. The Wendigo will have the blood of my enemies. But I'll drink the tea that you put in front of me. Don't worry, I'll take that. But he wants the blood of his enemies, and the butler's like, "Ha ha, that's funny." And he's like, "Do you have anything more worthy of the Wendigo, and he's like, the guy legitimately is like, I think we got a Coke in the back. Like, no, like, bro, I appreciate you trying, but that's not what he's talking about.
The blood of my enemies. Can I get a Coke?
And so we all get our croissants and our teas, and the butler brings a board game around. And like, do you know what Do You Meme is? The game What Do You Meme?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's a game where they put down an image. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but instead of like a phrase or like a question, it's a meme picture, and then everybody puts down a caption with that picture.
Yeah, like have you played Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah.
Ed?
Yeah.
Basically, imagine instead of the black card having words, it's a picture, and then everyone else has like little phrases and shit to make it a meme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like that. He brings us something like that, but it's just cat pictures.
Who doesn't like cats?
And it seemed very wholesome until I got a card that said, "When you forget to wash your pussy."
Yeah. Play that shit in attack mode.
But so he brings us that, and in all honesty, that didn't go that went poorly. Playing the game went poorly, but it actually wasn't to do with anything going on at our table. It was because they kept interrupting every round we were trying to play with a new dance. So there was no like chance to play the game because there was always something going on. Like we would start to like play the next round and it just never fucking mattered. And every time the guy next to me would go to play a card, he would like ask the mask like, which card should I play? And
I mean, dedicated to the bit. Gotta respect him for that.
Gotta respect the bit.
The guy next to him in the Demon Slayer shirt was he didn't just seem uncomfortable, he seemed angry. And the girl next to me in the Kakaguri cosplay was absolutely not having any of it. She was just sitting there on her phone, and from that point on, she did not answer any questions that anybody had for her. She didn't talk to anybody. Her friend was kind of giggling at her because she could tell, like, I have a feeling that they were texting each other.
Yeah, we all know that vibe.
Yeah. And it basically, like, any communication from the table was broken down at this point, and like nobody wanted to interact because of this guy. And like it didn't help that you've got me sitting next to him, just like stiff as a fucking board because I'm so uncomfortable and my
First
eyes
of all, that's
wide.
not your problem.
Not. He's right, you know.
Towards the very, very end, they go, we have a prize.
I like
but
prizes.
We're only gonna give it to one person. So we're gonna play rock, paper, scissors. Everybody stand up. And the main mate is like, alright, it's all of you against me. Every time you guys pick the wrong hand, you'll have to sit down. But if you pick the right hand, you get to stay up. Or if you tie, you stay up.
We up.
And so I just keep shooting, and I keep doing my hands, and I either tie or I win. It doesn't really matter. Until eventually I realize that I'm in the final four, and one of the other people is at my table, and another person across from us is in, and a little girl in a Hatsune Miku cosplay is in.
Kevin says paper, I win. I don't think that's how the game works exactly, but you know.
You're like, I win. Paper all rounds. I win.
Is that not how the game's played?
So once we get to this point, the girl across from me, the girl in this group, who's also at my table, she looks at me and I look at her and we're like, we gotta win this. She's like, yeah, we gotta win this for our table. And so we both start shooting, and everybody is cheering on the two of everybody at our table is cheering on the two of us, except for the guy in the mask who's just sitting there, just stone faced, not giving a shit.
Happens like that.
And
Even
so
the chick who was like out of it was cheering too.
Kind of. She was like clapping, but she didn't really.
Hey, participation trophy.
Not a team player.
Hey, she participated.
Need to participate better. That's all I'm saying.
More than Wendigo, dude.
Are you saying that she could have done better and been better?
She could have done better and been better. I'm glad that you understand.
I don't blame her for being out of it by this point.
I do.
I did hear her say her and her friend were leaving, she's like, "I'm never letting you talk me into something again." So clearly this wasn't her idea. And so it's me and this girl, and we're both shooting, and eventually I get out. I'm the next one gone, and she's in the final three, and I'm like, "Avenge me!" And she's like, "No!"
No.
And so everybody at our table, including me, is cheering for this girl. And then eventually she gets out, and it's just this dude in a Lloyd cosplay from Spy Family, and this little girl in a Hatsune Miku cosplay, and bro looks nervous. Bro is sweating. He's like,
it's one of those I'd expect to make it this far.
Yeah, exactly. And this little girl looks like she's about 6. Like, you don't want to be the dude in your 30s. You don't want to be the dude in your 30s beating a little girl.
Depends on what's
says you.
It depends on what's on the line.
Says you.
It's like, listen, kid. I want you to win. You deserve everything in life, and I'm gonna show you the world's a great place. The prize is a $500 Amazon gift card. You're going down, you little shit.
Yeah, exactly. Little 6-year-old getting in the way of me and my bag.
I overheard somebody say it, but it wasn't one of the maids, so I don't know if it was true. I heard that it was a Steam key for like Risk, like the board game Risk.
Oh,
what the? I would have been whatever.
Nah. Let him cook.
I don't know. What would you have been happy or mad about that?
I'd have been like, "Hey, little kid, remember that shit I was talking? I'm kidding. Here, take this."
Nah, you've already committed to beating the child.
Luckily for him, he did lose to the little girl. So, and he literally goes to sit down. He goes to sit down, and he's like, "Holy shit, that would have been awkward if I had won." And the little girl is dressed like Hatsune Miku, and she's got a leak, so she's doing the stupid meme. It's an old as hell meme. I don't know if that kid even knows the meme, but whatever.
Her parents did.
Her parents probably did. And so the main maid comes walking around again, and she's like looking at us playing this stupid board game that isn't working because they keep interrupting it. And she's like, "Oh, you guys are playing Catface? Oh, that's such a fun game. You know, just trying to interact with us." And the dude in the mask says, he looks at her and he goes, "Will you go out with me?"
What is okay, what type of timing is bro on?
What?
What is he doing?
My bro said, "I'm gonna make this cosplay the shit, and I'm getting all the bitches."
So,
Like,
but what, did he not have a friend?
I'm just the pussy bag.
By himself.
So bro didn't have anybody to reel him back just a little bit. Just a wee bit.
No. I begged, like I talked to Steph about this a little bit, and she's like, "Do you think it's possible that he's like, maybe he's special, or B, maybe he's just so awkward, and when he made this cosplay, like his family saw him making it, and like he spent all this time making this fucking cosplay, and they were like, oh, finally he's getting out of the house, and they just let him leave. Like, they didn't even question where the fuck he was going."
Fucked.
That is fucked.
I like mine better.
I would. Oh, jeez. He really
Because,
did
like,
say no one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Like, he literally did not have anybody. I saw, like, there's more to this story, but I saw him throughout that day, and he was 100% by himself all day.
Bro is built different.
So.
Also, I think my chat broke because now I can't read messages.
Oh, do you need me to wait until your internet gets back up? Okay.
No.
So he asks her out, and she goes, haha, I'm a lesbian, so that's not gonna work. And again, he puts the mask on, leans back, and just sulks. He does not say anything. And
I'm a lesbian.
And so they then put on the song that goes with the Hatsune Miku, or it's not, the original meme isn't even Hatsune Miku, it's Orihime from Bleach. They put on the song that goes with that meme. Oh, have you?
Yeah.
How far are you?
Listen, I jumped straight to the 1,000-year blood war.
Oh, gotcha. You went to the good shit.
I was forced to.
By who?
Who else?
Quincy?
What?
Oh, no, I know. I know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. No, guys, for real, who? I'm just kidding. No, guys, for
I wanted him to wait like 30 minutes later and be like, hey, so who are we talking about back then?
Yeah, like, I just wanted to act like I was a part of the cool kids club for a second there. What's happening? I'm feeling left out here, guys.
I'm genuinely confused. Oh, man. But yeah, so he put on the mask and sulked, yeah.
He puts on the mask and sulks, and then they put on they put on the meme song, and then they basically say goodbye to us. And we go to leave. Now, one of the parts that I left out was part of the reason that I agreed to do this was because they said when they handed me the ticket, the coupon for the $5 off, oh, there will be food and drink. And I'm like, cool. And like I said, there was a croissant and there was tea.
Croissant.
Now, the croissants all I'm gonna assume that they all tasted this way because mine tasted like it had been out for 2 days, just in the open fucking air. It was stale as fuck. It was not flavorful.
Nah, you just let it ferment. What are you talking about, bro?
It's
delicious.
And the tea was, they literally just handed us a styrofoam cup with hot water in it, and then gave us
a tea bag?
A tea bag, yeah.
Oh, no. Damn, they didn't even put any alcohol in it like Quincy's alcoholic self.
Yeah, I'm not an alcoholic.
What?
Not alcoholic.
Quincy's not an alcoholic. Wink, wink, no judge.
No judge. Wink, wink.
You know what I mean?
We just try not to make him upset. He has a problem.
we don't.
Where's the alcohol? Daddy needs his sauce.
Quincy, you gotta stop, man. I'll stop when I'm dead. You will be.
Like, we like drunk Quincy, but if you bring it up too much, then we get angry drunk Quincy, and that one's not as fun.
That's why we just let him be. Whatever he's like, yeah, I'm about to put some alcohol in this tea. He's about to hit. I'm like, good for you, buddy. Good for you.
It wasn't even enough to get me even feeling the type of way.
Isn't alcoholism funny?
This is why I don't judge him when he makes his lean.
I don't make lean.
So, because the tea was subpar and the croissant was non-existent, basically, I'm now like, cool, I spent $20 on this fucking experience, and I now have... I'm like, now I have to go find food on top of that and spend another $20 on food.
Not food.
I mean, did they tell you the food was just going to be a fucking croissant?
They said there was going to be food and drink. They didn't say what it
technically,
was.
It is food.
Fuck out of here.
I'm just saying, legally.
I don't give a fuck. A croissant, I would have looked at her through that fucking brick of a stale croissant in her face and like, where's the food at?
If Quincy tried to feed that to his daughter, Child Protective Services would have been called. Like, it was not food.
It's food. They advertised correctly. They had food and drinks.
Nah.
They did.
Nah,
that's basically like And it's like, oh man, the prostitute said she's gonna have sex with me. No, I said there's gonna be intercourse. It's like, oh, so the sex? Like, nah, that's sad hand job.
God, that's
only a sad hand job.
It's not even a happy
not even
one.
a
Not
static
even a
one.
happy.
No, not even a static. Sad one.
Damn.
It can't even be a neutral hand job. It has
Nope,
to be sad.
Like,
Not
listen,
even-
like
not
the
even
croissant
resting
would have been
bitch
the
face.
croissant would have been cool if it had flavor, like if it was like fresh.
Yeah.
Same thing with the hand. The hand job would have been better if she would have put some spirit behind it, you know?
That's some spirit.
Some spirit fingers.
No, stop. Never put those. I hate it
2,
here.
4, 6, 8. I should just masturbate.
Oh my god. Get out. Get out. We're done. We're done. It's over. Shut it off. Shut it all the way down. I hate the both of you. I need new friends. I need new friends. Where's Candy? Shut the don't repeat it, Derek.
It's gold, man.
No. No. I truly hate it here.
Nah, you don't hate it, man.
So
Someone end me.
So, I now need to go get food,
Yeah.
and I decide to. I decide I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I go out to the balcony, and I'm like, okay, I need to think about this logically. I could go down a little bit. Basically, this convention center is in the middle of fucking nowhere. But across from it is a hotel, and across from that is a bunch of different restaurants and bars and a big music venue. And that's all well and good, but they're not cheap places. They're not cheap places to eat.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you were a broke bitch?
No, it's just a
And
convention. Everything's fucking overpriced.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Much like
I
an
mean,
airport.
Honestly, the little food court inside wasn't that bad as far as overpriced. There were food trucks outside, but when I went to buy a quesadilla and fries and a drink on day 3, it cost me $30 for a can of Dr. Pepper, a thing of fries that was about the size of a small at McDonald's, and a quesadilla that was decently sized. But like, if this was any other place, it would have cost me $16 max. But because this was a convention, they hiked up their prices. They even had a sign that says "Price is subject to change" without notice, and I'm like, cool. And it cost me about $30 for those 3 things.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But it was a lot. But to be fair, it was good food, so I'm not completely bitching about it. But so the little food court inside, I got away on day 1 and 2 eating there for about under $15 for getting like some kind of a entree, some kind of a side, and some kind of a drink. I could get under 15, so that was pretty good. And so I did that. I went in there, but before I did that, I'm sitting around and I'm looking on my phone at places around, and I'm looking at the cosplayers because a lot of the cosplayers are doing stuff on the balcony, between floors 2 and 3, and it like led down into floor 2, and this was an area that I went to frequently over the course of the 3 days if I just wanted to like sit and kind of like calm down to myself, because there was a little area called the Zen Room where it was completely quiet and you could sit on a beanbag chair or a chair and color and read manga and just get away from the noise and the hustle and the bustle and just calm down, because you definitely needed to get away from it sometimes. But honestly, the manga was not really something I wanted to read, and I didn't really want to color. I'm not a colorer. So I would much rather go sit out and just kind of people watch the cosplayers. Not in a creepy way before you guys start
creepy.
making those jokes.
I never thought it was creepy because people watch all the time in conventions, especially raves and stuff. That's actually a thing.
That sounds weird, but yeah.
That's a legit thing. People watching's crazy. You come up with some cool fucking stories.
So I start just like people watching, and there's without going into specifics because I don't want to like out this person. Actually, you know what? I will, because they were very nice.
Okay.
There was an Ereshkigal cosplayer, Ereshkigal from Fate Grand Order, and she's got a professional photographer with her, and she's taking pictures, and the dude walks up. The dude that was sitting next to me in the... Yeah, the dude with the mask.
Wendigo boy? Oh, shit, he's back. Wendigo!
Oh, shit.
What?
And... oh, shit, what?
Nothing.
Oh. So, like, this girl's man is sitting next to the photographer, and all of a sudden, like, the Wendigo guy just walks up while they're in the middle of this photo shoot, and
he about to riz her up.
He starts pantomiming because he's got the mask on, so he's not gonna break character.
Lord. Oh God!
And he's doing like camera motions, and she's like, "Oh, you want a picture?" And her man starts to get up. Like, I'm like, bro, this guy's like maybe 6'8". You're 5'11". I appreciate you thinking you can handle this situation, but no.
The pantomime guy is like 6'8".
Yeah. Like I said, he's bigger than Quincy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dude,
He did say he was big.
Yeah, big and weird. Dangerous combination.
Yeah. And so she's like, "You want a picture? Okay." You know. And so she goes to pose for him, and he shakes his head. No. She's like, "No picture?" He's like, "Yes, picture." And he nods, and she's like, she's actually catching on to this very quickly, like better than any of us did. And eventually she understands that he doesn't even have a phone, and he wanted the photo shoot to be her and him. And she goes, "Oh, that's very nice of you, but I'm in the middle of this photo shoot. I would love to take pictures with you after I'm done. How about we do our own little photo shoot afterwards?" And this dude just like shakes his head, looks down, and walks off. He just like doesn't say a word to this girl. I'm like, she is handling this like a professional. Like, she can see that something's up, and she's just like, she handles it very respectfully. Like, good on her, man. And
like dealing with a crackhead. You have to be cautious and aware.
And she was very nice, and like the photographer comes up to her and is asking her if everything's all right, and like her man is asking if everything's all right, and like it kind of sucked for me because I was kind of actually waiting for the photo shoot to be over because I'm a huge fan of Ereshkigal. She's one of my favorite characters in Fate Grand Order, and I don't have her, and I'm like, can I get I wanted to be like, can I get a picture, but like. This guy made me feel so awkward about people walking up to her that I'm just like, I'm gonna go find food. Fuck this.
Nah, man. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
So, make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
And so I now head off. I'm gonna go. There's a little taco place that I went to on day one. It's a little pricey, but I knew I could get out of there for under 15, so I'm like, cool. I'm like, it's down by the arena where the concert was going to be, and I go to walk down there, and I'm checking my phone as I'm walking. I'm like making sure missed calls. And I've already texted you guys. I'm like, bro. This maid cafe thing, holy shit.
Wild.
Absolutely wild.
And I'm like maybe 6 feet from the taco place, the Mexican place. And I'm maybe a quarter mile away from the convention center. And I'm checking my phone, and I see that Vichibon is having an impromptu meet and greet where you can meet Eye Candy and Rose Doodle. And I'm like...
VTubers.
And it started like 48 minutes ago, and I'm like, I bet you it doesn't go more than an hour. And I immediately forego lunch, and I turn around and I start sprinting to the convention center. And again, luckily, I didn't have any bags, so I didn't have to wait in the bag line, because Saturday had a big bag line.
Not the bag line.
And I was able to get into the convention center no problem, and I got in line for the meet and greet, and there's one guy like directing traffic and like telling people where to go in the line, and then there's another guy at the front of the line, and the guy at the front of the line, after I get in line, walks up and he goes, okay, after that guy who just got in, nobody else is allowed in. I'm like, just to try and just crowd control, and they're so that they can get back to what they were trying to do. And so I was the last one, and I got to meet Rose Doodle and Eye Candy.
Oh,
and
look at you.
I was very very happy. I know VTubers aren't everybody's thing.
They sure aren't.
Wait, hold on. By meet them, you meet the actual them, or is it like
no,
how does that
the
work?
model, the model.
No, so I'll explain that, actually. There was a screen at their booth, because they had a booth there, and there's a screen, and on top of the screen was a camera so that they could see you, and a mic so that they could hear you, and they would also get to talk to you, but you could see their models moving around.
Okay. So just mocapping, basically.
Basically. Yeah, basically. They were at the convention. I never ran into them, but all these VTubers did post pictures later, and some fans did post pictures later, and I was so annoyed that I didn't get to meet them, get to meet them in person. But at the same time, I'm ecstatic as hell that I got to meet their models. I mean, because the models are part of the reason I'm a fan, or if not, like, yeah, they're a part of the reason I'm a fan. Their personality is the other part of the reason that I'm a fan. So,
fun fact: Derek is actually just a child and likes pretty pictures.
But yet didn't want to color in the coloring books. Make it make sense.
Come on, get your act together.
So I was very happy, and I got to meet them, and I was the last one. And I explained to them, I'm like, hey, I as soon as I found out, I ran over here, and I didn't get lunch, and Eye Candy looks at me and they go, you didn't eat. Your priorities are wrong.
They sure are.
And Rose Doodle looks at me and goes, no, his priorities are exactly correct. I'm like, thank you.
No. His priorities are wrong. They're all over the place.
Nah, his priorities are right. He can eat any day.
He can only meet a VTuber today.
Yep.
And actually, that was my logic too. Was I thought that was the only time I was gonna meet them. Like, I didn't think there was gonna be another chance to meet not only a VTuber, but specifically these VTubers. And so I was very happy, and I was very appreciative that they took the time, and I got to take a picture. I was very happy. And by this point, like, because I've run over here, I'm just like, I'm gonna go eat in the food court upstairs. And so that was cool. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm just gonna people watch for the rest until the concert, and I'm not really gonna care. And in waiting for the concert, I saw a lot of things. I saw a lesbian couple break up.
Damn.
That wasn't great. One of the girls actually said to the one who was being broken up to, literally looks at the first girl and goes, "Why are you doing this here and now?" And the girl who's doing the breaking up was like, "You made an ass out of yourself today, and I can't deal with that." And
what did she do?
Yeah, I'm curious. You can't just like, oh, I need the tea, sis. Spill.
Yeah, what did she do? What did she do that's so bad? Was she pantomime into a mask or something? What did she do?
Did she require the blood of her enemies? Like, come on now, what's going on?
And that was all that they said that was loud enough for me to hear. And
No, you should have followed for context.
Yeah, come on, man.
I was just sitting there. I just sat there and I was like checking Twitter to see if there's any more like secret meetups and whatnot. There was another guy. There was a girl with her family.
I just care about this lesbian breakup.
I have nothing else for you.
I hate you, man.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I could. They were the one girl was crying. Like she was not okay. She was not okay. And this is before the concert too, so I'm like,
damn, not even after.
If you guys are like expecting to go to the concert, like, ooh. Also, just to like put this out there, a little unrelated to that, or I guess completely unrelated to that. Why did Akon decide it was a good idea to do a swap meet, a cosplay contest, a concert, and like 3 other panels all at 7 o'clock at night? Like all at the same time. Like why?
That's a
why
lot.
not space some of that shit out? Like especially the cosplay contest and the concert were 2 big draws for people. Like, oh, sorry, one of those panels was an improv session, like with this big group that had come down. I think it was called like Take One Productions. Like, they were a big guest that had come down to the convention, and they had an improv thing at the same time as the concert and the cosplay contest. I'm like, I get that not all 3 of those things have necessarily the same fans, but some of those people might overlap in the 3. Like, I went to the concert, but I kind of wanted to go to the cosplay contest too. Yeah. So, but I had to pick one, basically.
You planned on winning.
So that was, but while I was waiting, while one girl is being broken up with, there was a girl with her family. And she cosplayed as Power from Chainsaw Man. Mm-hmm. And she's just like sitting on the balcony. She's like overlooking everything, and she is literally at her cosplay is nice, and she's sitting in a very picturesque part. Like she was asking to be taken, have a picture of her taken with. Not literally, but like. You know, it was a very opportune moment that she was in.
Yeah. And
this one photographer walks up to her and he's like, "Hey, I really like your cosplay. I think it turned out really nice. I'm a professional photographer. Would you mind if I took some pictures of you?" He's very respectable. And she's like, "No, I'm 16, and you're like, because you're, you know, you're a photographer, you're a dude, like I'm not taking pictures." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I get that, you know, you're underage, so I'll leave you be, you know, have a good night." And this other girl in a cosplay, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, just like runs up to her and she's like, "Oh my god, I love your Power cosplay. You know, can I get a picture?" And she's like, "Sure." And like, this was clearly an adult woman, just like the other guy was an adult guy, and she just totally took pictures with this girl, but like, fuck the guy. I'm like,
I mean, it's not fair, but I kind of get it.
I mean, I kind of understand it too, but like, you know, adult women can be just, there are adult female predators, just as much as there are
Yeah.
male
And
predators.
sometimes they work together. Sometimes the dudes understand that girls from a culture are girls, so they'll have a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, I get it. It's just, it is unfair. But, like, maybe guy was like, ah, dang, missed out on a really cool Power cosplay.
Yo,
Yeah.
this is completely off topic.
Okay.
But I'm playing the Avengers, and we were in the elevator, and Hulk said that Bucky smelled like Widow, and Bucky's like, keep that to yourself.
Why bro smelled everything? Hulk couldn't have been at the convention. He would have smelled everybody's Texas heat. Hulk.
The Texas stank.
Texas stank.
Stank.
I need that to be a new stereotype. I just need that Texans just stank.
Texas stank.
Oh, where are you gonna go? Texas. Oh, you haven't heard of the Texas stank?
Don't want to go there. That Texas stanks it in.
Oh man.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Not the Texas stank.
So, I then proceed to go to the concert. And I'm like 15 minutes before the doors even open.
Somebody's early Nancy.
But it didn't matter because I was at the end of the line again.
When these end of the lines, man, did you get reshuffled up to the front?
No, okay, but thank you for bringing that up. Because Homeboy was already there. He had
Wendigo
already...
boy?
No.
Line guy.
Line guy.
Line guy.
Yeah.
Line guy had already rerouted everybody into a snaking, stupid, like, we had to go around barricades kind of fucking thing. Because he'd reorganized things. And by the time I get towards the front, one of the event coordinators at this music venue walks out. He's like, your snaking thing, it doesn't work. It's slowing us down. You need to hurry. Like, you should have just put everybody into single file lines. I don't know why you did this. It's taking up time. And Homeboy
don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and Homeboy goes, with all due respect, I've worked at this convention for blah 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 years, and this is how we do things. And I'm like, it literally isn't. Only areas that you've been in charge of have been snaking. Everybody else has been in single file lines. That's how I know you've been here.
This way is
The snake.
Not the snake.
The snake.
And so he's like, they're both having a dick measuring contest, and they eventually start arguing, and I'm just like rolling my eyes at this point. And it didn't matter because the problem actually had nothing to do with either one of them. The real reason that things weren't going to work out was because earlier in the week, one of the bands had to pull out because he was having visa issues, and so he did a pre-recorded a pre-recorded set for like 45 minutes, kind of like what we saw with Fortnite with like Gen Hoshino's whole thing. You remember when the guy who did the Spy Family ending? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had something similar to that, and that actually was supposed to go on 45 minutes before the show was actually supposed to begin. And that wasn't planned out until like 2 days before the concert. So it really had nothing to do with, everybody snaking or in a straight line. Nobody was going to be in the concert venue in time because now they only had 15 minutes to get everybody inside before the concert officially started. So these two grown-ass men having a fucking dick measuring contest was just like, it's irrelevant. You guys are mad at each other. It has nothing to do with the two of you. So I get in. Concert was good. I'm not the biggest fan of live music, and I didn't think it was perfect. There were technical errors out the ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The second band, Mad Kid, they're like a J-pop dance group. Not all of their mics worked. And they tried. To their credit, they fucking tried their hardest. They put on a hell of a show, despite the fact that A, not all their mics worked, and B, they were a little out of breath and were not singing perfectly. But I still give them a fucking A+. I had a blast watching them. I was not a fan of their stuff beforehand, and I was converted by the end of their performance.
That's good.
So there was that, like. And the first woman, I'm blanking on her name, but she does the first and the third ReZero openings. Let me look up her name. Konomi Suzuki.
It sounds familiar.
She sang her heart out. She was the first one up. She only did like 4 songs. She was brilliant. I loved her. She was great. But there were 3 screens. One screen that was behind the performers, so that, you know, it would like show shapes or colors or something, so that you had something to look at them behind them. And then two screens on the sides where you can just see the performer.
Yeah.
Especially for the people in the back. But that screen behind them was glitchy as fuck all the time. So you were basically like just getting flashes and like epileptic seizures as you're fucking watching this performance, just because like the screen never worked the entire night.
Damn.
I really wanted to see Nano perform. She was the 3rd performer up, and after she performed, I basically said, you know what, I'm gonna go home. Actually, I ended up trying to go to the Vichibon late night panel, but by the time they started, it was like 11:30, and I'm like, you know, I'm in here, and I love these guys, but I need to go home. I need to get some kind of sleep. So I just bounced after like not even 5 minutes in there. And then day 3 was the day that nobody showed up at 10 a.m. when the doors fucking opened. Because everyone was hungover. Everyone was exhausted. A lot of the, like, I didn't even show up until 11, but when I walked up with my bag and they were checking it, one of the women that was checking my bag looks behind me and she's like, "Oh, now they're fine. Now people are finally showing up." and I even asked, I'm like, "Was there, like, how bad was the line this morning?" And she went, "There was no line this morning." She's like, "There was a line both of the other 2 days, but not today." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Everybody was hungover because there was panels going until like 2 a.m.
Jesus.
So
like
yeah, like. Yeah, well, I mean, similar concept, yeah. Oh, I haven't even talked about the gaming room. I haven't even fucking talked about the gaming room. We'll get to that.
Oh, shit.
Games. I like games.
We'll talk about games.
Playing the game right now.
So, by day 3, I walk in at 11. It was so easy to walk around the dealer room and buy stuff on day 3, especially in the morning.
You buying drugs there, Bucko?
No, that's what it's called. I mean, only cocaine, but you know, only the hardest of drugs.
That sounds better.
It's just the blow. Only the blow.
Got good shit.
There was so it was really easy to walk around. It was really easy to get stuff, but some of those booths, by the way, were already closed by day 3. Like, they didn't even open. And at first I thought it was because, like, oh, they just gave up. They fucking gave up before day 3 happened. But I eventually went on to Twitter and I looked at a lot of these places. And there were a lot of places, especially in the Artist Alley, that sold out after day 2. And so they were able to go home. Like, they made bank, so they just went home early. Like, what's the point in staying if you don't have anything to sell?
True.
And so I was walking around. One of the things I had heard so much, I've heard for years about people who go to conventions is they go, my favorite place is the Artist Alley. No matter what convention, whether it's New York Comic Con or regular Comic Con or a gaming convention or an anime convention, it's always Artist Alley. And Quincy and I, when we went to New York Comic Con in 2011, we missed the Artist Alley, I believe, right, Quincy?
Yeah, I don't remember going to Artist Alley.
I don't think we did. That was where I spent the most time. That was where I spent the most money. Was Artist Alley, like without a fucking doubt this time. Like I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting to buy a lot of figures, especially for like on day 3 when they got cheap. I was expecting to buy a lot of figures. I was expecting to buy a lot of plushies. I did. I only bought Demon Slayer plushies and figures, but for the most part, I was buying art. I bought so much fucking art. I was so happy. I just bought prints out the ass. It was great.
Bro, spending.
There was a point. Okay, so reveal a little bit about myself. I'm the horny guy, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So you know, there's certain things about hentai and doujins and little things that I know because I'm the horny guy. The thing about being the horny guy is sometimes you can actually reverse engineer it for yourself. Because
now I'm concerned.
So I'm fairly familiar with the doujin scene. And I know that there's a hentai artist named Raita who did a lot of Fate art, like official Fate art, like non-pornographic Fate art, under their real name of Hanjo Raita. Mm-hmm. And they also do a lot of pornographic stuff. So I knew this. And I went to there was a doujin booth. There was one doujin booth that sold a bunch of doujinshi. And they had yuri, they had yaoi, they had, you know, your typical heterosexual stuff. But they also had an art book section that was non-pornographic. It was all stuff that was done by these, like, hentai artists. And I knew to go in there and look through that and get one of Hanjo Raita's non-pornographic Fate art books, because that shit is hard to find on the internet. Like, I know it exists, but some people mark it up, and other places are generally a scam. Mm-hmm. And I walked up, and like this guy's like, what kind of? He was literally like rubbing his hands together, and he's like, what kind of
customer?
Yeah, bro, say, what you buying?
What kind of sleazy shit are you into, stranger?
He's like, what kind of smut are you into? And I'm like,
not smut. We refer to it now as OSHA violation.
What kind of OSHA violations are you looking to get into? And I'm like, where's your Raita stuff? He's like, ooh, excellent choice. And I go through it, and he points me to the Raita stuff, and I go through it, and I find exactly what I'm looking for, and I pull it out, and he's like, all right, so what Raita did you get? And he looks at it, and he goes, he actually looked a little disappointed. He's like, you know this is non-pornographic, right? I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I want it. This shit's hard to come by. And he's like, yeah, it is, but all right. He just kind of shakes his head, and he's like disappointed. That booth was busy all weekend.
Everybody that walked up there talked to the guy and was like, I'm something of a degenerate myself, you know.
Like, he carded everybody. If you walked up...
Well, yeah, you have to be.
And he, like, the yaoi section, I shit you not, the yaoi section was on fire. People were over there constantly, just going through the yaoi section, just, like, picking something up, and they're like, I want this yaoi, give me this... Like, just, he was going through Benjamin's like crazy at the yaoi section. Just like people are throwing money at him for the yaoi. Like girls, guys trying to buy it as a joke.
quote unquote joke.
Joke. Yaui's guy, right? Or is that Yuri?
Yeah, Yaoi is guy. Yuri is girl.
Quote unquote joke.
His
joke.
quote unquote joke. I mean, I almost bought you guys some Yaoi, but you guys.
Whoa! Don't drag us into your degeneracy, sir.
At the end of day 2, I asked you guys. I'm like, hey, what are your favorite Genshin and My Hero characters?
See, okay. I want everybody to know that I get that message. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just like, okay, message Derek. Oh, he's still at the convention, isn't he? I look, he's like, oh, Genshin and whatever character and everything. My brain, it answered and then immediately regretted it because I was like, oh shit, what if he buys me like some weird pornographic shit? Like I can't. Like I sat there and then I just had a whole like maybe 20-minute conversation in my head of like, should we just tell him never mind? Like don't even worry about it. Like nah, just it's queer. Because if you don't know, the reason Derek doesn't want to talk about Zhao or Venti for that matter is because we're making a YouTube video. And we're talking. Whoa! We were ranking Genshin characters, and I think that's on Derek's channel. Yeah, YouTube.com/CommaStack.
Oh lord!
And now I get shit for liking they did my girl Raiden Shogun dirty. Decided to put her in like B tier until they finally conformed and understood.
I've changed my opinion. She's an S tier.
Yeah.
She's still B tier in my eyes.
Anyway, you're outvoted. It's democracy.
When it's on your side, it's cool. Okay.
Oh no! Don't act like you didn't have it when you was like, oh yeah, my favorite. Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so yeah, Derek accidentally stumbled upon some Zhao and Venti porn on the internet. So I was very concerned. I was like, he's gonna get me back for this. He's gonna ruin Zhongli for me, isn't he?
I did, and in all fairness, I showed you what I got you. It was completely wholesome.
It was, yeah, you did, and I didn't know that you sent it, and then I was like, yeah, I sent you something, trying to make me feel bad. Then I looked, and I was like, oh yeah, that stuff's actually really nice. Thanks, Derek.
But there was a booth where this artist did like really muscular yaoi pictures of My Hero characters and of Genshin characters. And some of them were either like two muscular dudes with each other or just like one muscular dude with themselves. And dicks were out. Like, just dicks were out. And I thought about getting it for you guys as a joke, because I'm like, if somebody finds me with this shit, I won't care. It's whatever. But I thought it'd be funny if I gave it to you. But I also knew that if I got you the wrong characters, you guys would just throw it away and it would be completely irrelevant. And I'm like, I don't want to spend $20 on a piece of art that's just going to get trashed.
It won't get trashed. It'll just get locked up. And
neither of you guys mentioned any male characters that were even in this artist's area. So I opted not to do it.
He only didn't do it because he couldn't do it. He would have did it if he could.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. If there was Zhongli, I even asked her. I'm like, "Do you have any Zhongli? I've got a friend."
I've got a friend. You make it like you're doing a drug deal. I got this guy, right?
He likes Zhongli a lot. He likes big hard cock. He got something for him, some real.
So I would have sensed the disturbance of the forest. So we'd be like, no, wait.
It was mostly Ida and Bakugo, and then there was a decent amount of Venti and a decent amount of Zhao.
Of course,
and Albedo. Oh, and Alhaitham. There was a lot of Alhaitham.
The Green Boys.
I opted not to. There was only one body pillow booth, weirdly enough.
Oh no, Derek couldn't get his body pillow.
And I thought about it because their prices were actually really good, but I opted against it because it was like $55 for a pillow or $90 for two pillows, and I'm like, that's not bad. Especially when you go online, a body pillow is usually like $75, so I'm like, that's cool.
Gotta get that quality, man.
all body pillows also had the realistic boobs option, so you could rest your head on actual tits.
What?
Yeah, like they came out of the pillow, like the tits
Like
came out of
silicone
the pillow.
titties?
Yeah, like yeah. I had never seen that option with a body pillow before, but yeah.
That's crazy. And why didn't I get one of those?
I'm sorry that I got you some nice, classy art and not titties.
You should be ashamed of
you
yourself.
better be sorry.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
How dare you? Thought you knew me.
Well, maybe next time. Maybe next time I'm at a convention, I'll get you titties. So, around lunchtime on day 3, I went to eat again, and that's when I had the quesadilla and the quesadilla and the fries and whatnot, and it cost me $30 and
That's an expensive quesadilla.
It really was. And I had to go from outside of the food trucks, and I had to climb. I had to go through the bag check.
Oh, I was like, climb. I was like, what kind of Assassin's Creed? How bad do you want this quesadilla?
You got to do the leap of faith into that haystack.
And so I had to go back into the bag check, unzip my bag while holding this quesadilla and fries, go up the stairwell, go get napkins, realize that I already had napkins, and then find a spot to sit down. There were way too many opportunities for me to just fucking lose this $30 worth of food, and somehow I completely got through unscathed. So I was very happy about that. Some fucking how. And while I'm eating, and I'm there's a bunch of My Dress Up Darling cosplayers, like 4 different My Dress Up Darling cosplayers, each in a different outfit that Marin wore in the anime. And I'm like, oh, they look adorable, and they're taking a professional photo shoot, and I'm like, I wanna like say hi to them and whatever after I'm done eating. And I'm checking my phone, I'm checking Twitter, and it's like 8 minutes ago, Vichupon is having another meetup. And I'm like, alright, fuck the cosplayers. And I just like wolfed down my food and ran downstairs to the Vichupon booth.
This boy loves his VTubers.
I love me my VTubers.
He does.
And I went to the Buff Pup and Shia Bun meet and greet. And I actually, that is the one time that I had the most interaction with somebody. There was a guy behind me, and he was also very well put together, and also a big VTuber fan. And he was showing me, he had like an autograph book of like other VTubers that he got to meet over at WeebCon, which was like a month or 2 before. And there was a bunch of VTubers there in person that you could get the chance to meet. So that was, I got to talk to him, and he was very cool. And I got up to the booth, and I saw them, and I went hello, and they went hi, and I froze.
Why?
For a solid 10 seconds.
Why?
And Buff Pup's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I didn't really think of what to say. I'm trying to play it off, like, oh, I just didn't think of what to say. I actually got nervous. I got really nervous when I got to see them, because I've been watching Buff a lot, especially lately, and so I froze. Like, I literally got nervous, and like I know it's weird. It's weird to say that about a VTuber, especially if you're not a VTuber fan. But I got starstruck.
Oh, look at him. He's human.
I was just like, and I was very much like, I've been a fan of, I've been a fan of y'all's for a while, and when you guys announced Vichibon, I actually went on break at work specifically so that I could watch the Vichibon stream. And she was like, "Oh, thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate stories like that." And I'm just like, I can't think of anything else to say. And I'm just like, can I get a picture? And I awkwardly took a picture, and I said thank you and left. And I felt so fucking stupid, dude. I felt so dumb because I froze. It's like I heard a lot of people talking while I was in line for both meet and greets. People were like, "Oh, these people are in line to talk to somebody who's not even there. What idiots!"
What idiots?
And it's like, oh, it's just a YouTuber that looks like an anime character. What's the point? And I just like these people are just like shit talking us as fans and shit talking the VTubers. I just kept hearing it while waiting in both lines. And I just heard it over, and I heard it over and over and over and over, and I just felt like, to be the guy who freezes when he meets a VTuber, and not even like my favorite VTuber, not even my all-time favorite VTuber. That's just how much these VTubers mean to me. Is like even if they're not your favorite, you still really, really like them to the point where you get starstruck in front of them, like. Yeah. It just.
It's almost like when Quincy tried to shoot a shot with Charlize Theron.
That was different. That was severely different.
That was severely different. That was
like I knew there was a chance I would not be able to talk to her. He went and knew he had the opportunity to talk to him. That's different.
Yeah.
And mine was over text too.
Yep, not in person.
And you just met the model, right? It wasn't like the person.
No, mine was just the model, but they could hear me and they could talk to me, and I could talk to them. Yeah. Whereas Charlize Theron didn't even read that. Her PR team read that and deleted it.
Yeah, no, delete. Exactly how it happened.
They was like, this guy.
Boom.
And so, like, that was kind of a big moment for me for this weekend. I was later at the booth to buy something else, and Techie Cutie, who's another VTuber, also came on the screen, and she just kind of popped on the screen, and the guy running the booth was like, "All right, you're all set up," and she's like, "Okay, thank you." And this like Snow White cosplayer walks right up, and she's like, "Hi!" And the Snow White cosplayer just like looks at her and like kind of stares at the screen and doesn't say anything, and like Techie is just like staring at her, and she's like, and Techie goes, "Well, how are you?" And the girl kind of like drops back a little bit, and I'm like, "She can hear you, like you can talk to her." And she's like, no, you can't. And Techie goes, "Yeah, I can." And she's like, the girl like looks back at me and looks at the screen, and she's like, hello. And she's like, "How are you doing today? How are you enjoying the con?" And the girl's just confused, and she's like, "I'm good. I don't." It's just like not understanding what the fuck is happening. And like Techie's trying to talk to her and just be there, and she just kind of like, she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go." And Techie goes, "All right, have a great day." And then this girl books it. She just fucking runs.
She was scared.
She's scared. She didn't understand how this fucking VTuber shit works.
So she just saw the 3D avatar going, and she just fucking freaked out.
Yeah. And like talking to her, yeah.
Okay.
It happens, man. She was terrified. I'd be kind of scared too if I was just under the impression it's like, oh nah, this isn't. I don't know anything about this, and then this just starts happening, and they're talking to me. I'd be scared.
I wouldn't be scared. I'd be intrigued.
I'd be somewhat intrigued too, but like, if I just truly didn't know, I'd just be like, this is weird, but cool.
It's kind of like what they do it at Disneyland, so it's like,
Oh yeah,
same shit.
It would crush the
Yeah.
turtle and all that.
Yeah, Crush is a VTuber.
What?
Crush the Turtle? He's basically a VTuber.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you were like saying like like he's a VTuber, like he does the live streams, like Crush the Turtle live streams, like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger and Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, the actual VTubers.
The fucking Chuck E. Cheese saying Poggers is the funniest shit to me.
Tony the Tiger talking about how his computer is cooled by milk is
What?
yeah.
What did they get Tony the Tiger to say?
I don't know.
They got him to say some shit. I don't remember what it was.
Probably got him to say they're great or something.
No, I remember it being a lot more cringe than that.
Let me equip my camera.
Did anybody have any questions? Because I think I've told most of the stories. Wait, I feel like there's one more. Yes. Okay. So, Line Guy.
Not Lion Guy.
The
The villain we didn't need.
villain we absolutely.
Oh, line. I thought I said lime.
Line Guy on day 3. There's a fucking thing. Like, there's this whole area where you can take pictures. Like, you can do photo shoots in area. It looks really nice. It's getting a little crowded, and he has now organized people into snaking lines that are now also turning into one fucking blob, because it's not a big enough area to do snaking lines. And like he even looks at it. I turn the corner after coming out of the restroom to see that he's done this, and I just kind of like roll my eyes at everybody who's gotten in the line the way he wants, into like 4 different snaking lines that look like a blob.
Yeah.
And he literally have his hands on his hips, and he's like, "Yep, job well done." And I'm like,
what the fuck?
Bro's living in his own world.
He's absolutely is. And one of the other guys who works there walks up to him, and he's like, "Hey, we're having issues at one of the panels downstairs." And he puts his hand on the shoulder of this guy, and he goes, "Do you want to show me how I do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to see how you do it. Like, I'd love to see it." He's like, "All right, let's go change the world." And he walked.
What? I swear to God, he did not say, "Let's go change the world."
Let's go change the world.
All right, he didn't say, "Let's go change the world."
Okay. I was like, there's no way.
He was like, "All right, I'm gonna make this happen," and he just like walks away like he's gonna go do this. And I follow them, because at this point on day 3, I'm running out of things to do, and I'm like, whatever.
Let me follow Line Guy.
And Line Guy's just shouting at people again, and moving people from one area to another, and one more over here and more over there and whatever. And I'm just like, this doesn't fucking work. You're making snaking lines when they don't need to happen. Jesus.
Line Guy, man. Line Guy. The hero we all
Maybe he just finds like the snaking lines like super aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his fetish. Maybe he's using people to fulfill his fetish.
His fetish.
It's like symmetry is his fetish, and he likes the symmetrical wavy lines.
I did forget the room, the gaming room. So
yeah, you did say something about the gaming room. What about the gaming room?
No. Yeah, I forgot to mention it. There isn't a whole lot to say about the gaming room. the first main thing I told Ed already, which is when I went up there on day one, within the first couple hours, I looked and every table had a different game going. And it was all different fighting games, and that's all well and good. It's whatever. But by day 3, it was just every table was just Dragon Ball Fighters. Like there were no other fighting games going on.
My type of people.
Like they were trying to do a speed run of Pokemon Puzzle League on the N64, but that was the only other game in that room that was being played on day 3. It was just Dragon Ball Fighters.
And if you don't, you should have played, Derek. You've played Dragon Ball Fighters before.
Yeah, and I'm terrible at it.
Nah, man, you're great.
Are your headphones not plugged in anymore, Quincy?
Oh, they're plugged in now.
Okay.
You're great at Dragon Ball Fighters, my friend.
I'm fucking terrible at it. The last time I played was when you trained me, or trained, quote unquote.
You asked. You asked.
I know, and it did not work the way I wanted it to.
How did you expect it to work?
Not fucking beating me over the head with it.
I wasn't beating you over the head. You asked. You was like, hey. I was like, oh man, he finally wants to learn. That's great, awesome. And then, like, we played. I gave you the fundamentals. I don't see what was so bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing bad happened, Derek.
The other big thing about the gaming room was there was supposed to be this like free arcade that was off to the side, and it was a bunch of Japanese arcade machines, and most of them were rhythm games, to be fair, but some of them were just other games that I'd never seen before, and there was like an arcade machine of Gundam Versus, weirdly enough. Like, I'd never seen that before, and that was kind of cool.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
And, like, that was a big attraction. But when I walked up there at 11:30 on day 1, and the convention started at 10, none of those machines had been unpacked. They were all still wrapped and on pallets.
Wow.
I'm like, you guys had yesterday. Like, how did you not set up?
That's too much work.
And by the end of by the time I left on day 1, they had everything off the pallets, but only a couple games were plugged in. On day 2, half of them were powered on, and half of them weren't. By the beginning of day 3, all of them were powered on, but within a couple hours, only about half of them were powered on.
Have they tried turning them off and on again?
I don't think they gave a shit. I really don't think the convention gave a fuck about this whole arcade area.
How?
I don't know. Honestly, it felt half-hearted. It did not feel like they gave a fuck the entire time.
They need to care, man. It's the games. The games are important.
There was also a big presence in the game room for, like, card games.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
But I wasn't gonna bring any cards up to play with people, and I wasn't gonna buy cards there just to play against strangers. Apparently, the One Piece trading card game had come out recently, because that was a big thing that they were advertising at the convention.
Not the One Piece trading card game.
And you could buy the first couple starter packs and a bunch of different boosters, like 4 different kinds of boosters. It went up to the Alabasta stuff.
Whatever that means.
How far into
what
One
I'm
Piece
on.
are you? Are you into Alabasta?
Oh.
Yeah, the princess of Alabasta, trying to get her back to Alabasta, and then
Yeah.
The one like
Oh, then I
shark,
get it.
king shark or whatever the fuck the tiger,
Crocodile.
whatever the fuck, crocodile. Yeah, crocodile.
Oh, then I guess I'm on the Alabasta arc as well.
Are you actually watching it with him, or are you just like kind of watching it over his shoulder?
I sit there and I watch it.
Okay.
I'm a One Piece fan. I'm not. They're weird and I hate them. I don't hate them.
Oh.
Damn, straight up.
I don't hate them. I hate Bleach fans, but that's a whole different thing.
Damn, what a Bleach fans do. I feel like they're the most silent fan base.
Go ahead. No, they're not. They're not. They're
Compared
fucking
to
not.
compared to DBZ, Naruto, and One Piece fans, I hardly hear Bleach people.
Trust
So,
me, I hear Bleach
trust
people.
me, I hear them too.
I hear Bleach person.
Bleach people are annoying. Wait, who's the Bleach person you're talking about?
Everyone.
Oh, okay. Bleach people believe so highly in themselves. Like when Super Eye Patch Wolf put out that video years ago.
You just said words. There is no way that's person.
Okay, it's a YouTuber. It's a YouTuber. It was actually a big video. The follow.
Bro said Super Eye Patch Wolf.
Yeah, YouTubers have weird names.
Yeah, I mean it's not that weird.
He spelled so. That's what that is.
So he did a video ages ago about the downfall of Bleach, and at the time it was fairly accurate. But fans came out of the fucking woodwork to be like, no, that's not true, you know, this isn't right, they just bombarded his video, and then when he basically made an apology video about that video, still basically saying that Bleach sucks, they came out again, and they've basically been like, sitting on their soapbox waiting for Thousand Year Blood War, basically going, oh, we've got this, it's the best anime ever, oh my god. It's like, no, this arc fucking sucks, just like all the other arcs fucking suck. Shut the fuck up, please.
Damn.
I'm a fucking Bleach fan, and I think Bleach sucks.
Damn. You heard it here first, folks. Derek hates Bleach.
I think
Somebody cancel him.
I think up until the Soul Society arc, the end of the Soul Society arc, is when it stops being a good manga.
So you mean the first arc? Or like...
The first two.
Yeah.
First two.
So
They're both long arcs, though. That's 20 books.
You telling me the first two arcs?
Okay, look. In 23 volumes, how many arcs did Demon Slayer have?
I don't know, man.
They had like 6 or 7. Bleach had 2. So
why they got so many? Like the first two, or bro said, oh yeah, the beginning of the show was great. Everything else after that, hated.
I mean,
Bleach fans get him.
I know that's how people felt about what's it called, Sword Art.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about Sword Art.
We don't talk about Sword Art.
Straight up, we don't.
Unless Quincy wants to talk about Sword Art. How do you?
I haven't seen Sword Art in forever. All I've seen was like the first like season, I guess.
Yeah.
That's basically what everybody's seen.
Here it gets a bit out of hand.
I mean, to each their own. I just, it's at least it's story related as to why they like don't like it or like something, as opposed to just like, the way that just old anime works is just keeping you from watching anime entirely. Chibi heads and over-exaggerated expressions are just a huge turnoff for some reason.
Yeah.
So you're.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes for me it literally is just the standard definition. It's not even like anime. It's not even like old anime style that would stop me. It's like this is in 480p, and I don't know if I can watch it.
No, it's not even that. No, it's not even that. It's not the quality. It's just the expressions. Like, you know how Teen Titans was, where it's like since it drew from Japanese like pop culture and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically how if they would get mad, sometimes their heads would grow big, or they just like over the top stuff like that. And it's not even that much.
Yeah, but Demon Slayer does that.
Yeah, but stuff like that deters her from watching anime.
Okay. Well, I've heard that argument a few times.
Most cartoons go over exaggerated, but there's plenty of anime that don't do that though.
Yeah, it's like but you're using that as just I don't want to watch anime because that's how it is. It's like, but there's a million and one things that aren't like that.
Honestly, if you don't watch anime, it's really hard to convince you to watch anime.
I feel like it's not hard. It's the people that.
There's
like,
a
the stigma around it. It's hard for certain people.
Yeah, it's like it's just the stigma, so they just find anything to be like, oh yeah, no, I just don't watch it because of this. It's like, just say you've never actually tried it properly.
And it's like, oh yeah, it's too sexual. I've heard that a million times.
Yeah, I've heard that a million and one times. And it's like, that's because that's the whole genre that you're watching.
Well, I mean, yeah. How many times do you talk to somebody and they only want to talk to you about a shonen anime?
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to you about like a slice of life or even like a
you
hard
better-
sci-fi.
Slice of life.
Yeah, it's like you can watch other genres. It's not that hard. But, there's some people, they just, they're blind to the things that they don't want to actually pay attention to. It starts to suck. So that was your whole Akon experience, huh?
That was my whole Akon experience.
Music.
Were there any?
Stop, Quincy.
Were there any questions or anything?
Questions or concerns?
So was that the full thing of Wendigo, dude?
Yeah, after day. I
So
only
it
saw him on
sounds
day
like
2,
Wendigo
but
didn't get a girlfriend, is what I'm hearing.
No, I don't think he did.
That sounds like Wendigo did. He didn't get the shouty, even though he kept trying. Like he just expected. Like where was his friends at? Like someone should have been like, all right, dude, I understand that you got the cosplay down, and that's a good conversation starter, but that's not the girl bagger.
That's
Get
not
through the door.
Yeah, you gotta close, bro. You gotta close. I just wish, like, the whole, if I was trying, I would have snapped your arm in half.
Yeah, that's wild. He could say that with a straight face.
I was like, bro.
And then be like, you got a boyfriend.
Yeah,
you said you were going to hurt me.
The audacity. The lion, the witch, and
Imagine
the
if
audacity.
it worked, though. Like, damn, they were doing it wrong. Imagine it's just like, it's like, so you think you'd snap my arm? It's like, what else do you think you can snap? It's like,
Relax.
Oh,
Relax.
it's like, holy shit, maybe we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you just have to threaten him.
Maybe Joker was onto something.
No.
That's how he bagged Harley.
No.
You know what I'm
She was
saying?
mentally unstable.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. It's just, where's Batman's baddie? You know what I'm saying?
Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
I mean, but I'm just saying, Joker's had Harley longer.
She's mentally unstable.
Not seeing what you're getting at here.
I hate it here.
Sometimes someone's bad enough to look past that. We're not supposed to look at people's shortcomings. That's fucked up.
You mean they're gigantic red flags that scream, I don't care about you.
You mean the carnival flags? That doesn't matter, man.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
I feel like it matters when it comes to a relationship,
Man.
You telling me you'd be in an abusive relationship like that?
I wouldn't,
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Wait, no. You didn't even gotta say anything. No, you don't even have to say anything. It's okay, my guy. I forgot. You've been through one. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be in it because I would just be in there like I'm just trying to smash and leave.
Is that what that 7-year-long relationship was?
No, that's not Harley Quinn.
He's coping, Derek. He's coping.
He really is. He's hoping to God that she doesn't somehow find his stream.
He's coping.
This has nothing to do with her. I'm talking about Harley Quinn.
Yeah. but we're saying
it's okay. You can tell us in private.
So it's alright. So
No,
I can
we're
just
saying-
compare
we're saying-
all your gaming and comic book crushes to Sarah and Steph. Now it's not funny anymore, is it?
Thank you guys for watching this first and last episode of the Gatcha Gang Podcast. We unfortunately will not be making any more because after Quincy's comments, we all got into this big fight. And now the three of us are no longer friends. So I appreciate you coming down and watching this, but that's gonna be it.